also, Chris, a far from ideal end to the season here against Frome Town. Can you sum up that performance?
It's really tricky for me to sum up, because I felt that there was a really poor start, really poor approach from us, really, like from the very first whistle, conceding early. But Frome did everything they possibly could to put us off our game, to knock us out of our stride, and we never recovered. We never really were able to mentally put things aside and focus on what we need to do in order to be successful, and what we've done in previous games to be successful and control games. We were poor with the ball. We made some poor choices. Our movement wasn't in sync with our normal game. Some players playing beyond the ball a little bit too much at times, and it made it very difficult for us to play through them. The only real joy we had again was when we pressed them and won the ball back high up the pitch in areas where we could break on and score. And I look back at the first half and I think, you know what, we didn't play particularly great, but we still had 3 or 4 chances, and the difference at half time was the fact they took their chances and we unfortunately didn't. And it's been the story of our season in certain areas, especially in the early part of the season, where our opposition tend to take every opportunity that comes their way in early parts of the game and puts us right on the back foot. And we need to learn very quickly so we can be better next season. Learn from these experiences, learn from similar experiences that we've had this season, not just as a group of players but as a group of staff as well, to make sure that we're more focused and to be able to do certain things, to be just more consistent in key parts of the game, and we shouldn't allow the way that the game evolves to knock us out of our stride like it did today. That was the biggest disappointment. That all the things that were going on and off the ball, on the pitch, just distracted our players just enough that we weren't firing on all cylinders. And unfortunately, we can't win games of football in that manner. We can't. There's nothing that we can do. And to be here on the last day, and lovely weather with a fantastic group of people coming to watch us that play week in, week out, and have seen us come so far, and we're hoping for a successful end to the season in terms of on the pitch pick up a win and that feel-good factor going into the close season. We haven't delivered, and I apologise. I take it on the chin from myself, and I feel their disappointment, I feel their frustration. We're just very, very fortunate that we've done our work over the last kind of 6 or 7 weeks to get enough points on the board that we're not desperate for all the points, but we should still be desperate for the result, desperate for the performance, desperate for that individual pride that should be there every single game, regardless of what the consequences of each game are. And the fact that we're not scrapping for points right now to save ourselves is the only plus that we can take out, is that we're not in that situation, and that we should have been better today. Should have been.
Going into the final game of the season, Highmore next Saturday, how are we going to make sure that we restore that pride in our performance?
Well, I think at the end of the day, it does come down to that professional pride. I mean, I'm looking around the change room in there a couple of minutes ago, and there's a lot of quiet faces, but I hope they're not feeling sorry for themselves. I genuinely don't feel. I don't want them to be feeling sorry for themselves, because at the end of the day, we got what we deserved again. Frome put 8 passes this year without a reply, and we've scored a lot of goals this season, and it's an area of our game that we're aware that we can be a little bit exposed if we're caught off guard, if we're hit with a lot of kind of physicality early on in the game, and that's a real disappointment. But they shouldn't be feeling sorry for themselves. They should be feeling disappointed with their performance, disappointed by their levels of professionalism, because that was all it was. We asked before the game for focus on application and the right attitude, and unfortunately that wasn't there enough today throughout the team, and that's ultimately what's cost us. It wasn't necessarily our quality, the fact that we couldn't create. It was just our attitude and our application, and they were prepared to put their foot in. They were prepared to really get after us and sprint back to their own goal, bodies on the line, and we just didn't produce that today. And the only positive that's come out from today is that we haven't picked up any injuries, and hopefully we go into next week exactly the same in terms of making sure that we finish the season in the right frame of mind, on the right foot. We've just said to the players coming off the pitch, we've got one more game to close the season, and we don't want to go out, end this season on a negative after we've come so far. And it's really disappointing to pick up 2 defeats on the bounce in the manner that we have done, because we're a far better group of players than what we're showing, and we've got to make sure that with 1 game to go, we prove that.
Obviously not directly a Parkway related thing, but Tom Dean has made his debut today for Exeter City. How pleasing must that be for you, obviously, to see someone come on loan from here, do really well, and then go on and make their EFL debut? And Dylan Jones was on the bench for Norwich again today.
You know, it's positive. It's shown that we're doing things in the right way here at Parkway. We're giving young players an opportunity to come in and give them a platform to perform and play a certain style of football. And the fact that players are doing well with us, and their parent clubs are keeping an eye on it. And obviously with Dylan's situation was fantastic, and the club have been brilliant in terms of allowing him to go on trial, and the way they dealt with the transfer situation with Dylan's is fantastic, and allowing him to fulfil a dream. And the fact that he's been involved with a championship club after being such a huge part of our early part of the season is a feather in the cap, so to speak. And hopefully that is a springboard for more to come. For young players, young pros, local football clubs that are professional, that can see that we're doing things in the right way, and we can build those relationships and ensure that we get maybe 1 or 2 players in the future, both on loan and young players trying to rebuild a career. And that's one of the things that we've looked to do this year is be a club that helps improve players, develop players through an environment where we play the game in a certain way and we improve collectively as a team. But it's been acknowledged that 1 or 2 individuals that have come here and given their all with the right attitude and application, they've done well, and they've gone on to bigger and better things. It's the 4th or 5th player now that's worn the Parkway shirt this season, has gone on to higher levels and played some good minutes for some good football clubs, and long may it continue.